Hey guys, it's Brian from Spreadsheet Sports, and it's time to talk about the NFL lineup generator tool. So the first thing that you'll want to do is open up the projection tool. So I'm going to assume that you have that open here and you've gone through and you've set your projections. If you haven't done that yet, I'd take a look at that video. So you'll see this button here that allows you to send to the lineup generator. You'll want to make sure the generator file is also open in Excel when you hit that button. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. So I hit the send to lineup generator, and you'll see it kind of work for a second. It's copying data over to the generator file, and it looks like everything is all set. I'm going to close the projection tool. I don't want both of them open at the same time. And so the point of the lineup generator is going to allow you to put your list of players that you're thinking of, that you're considering starting at each position, and it's going to generate all of the potential lineup combinations with those players included. So it's limited to the number of players you can include. You can't include every single quarterback or every running back. Because if you do, the number of lineup combinations is incredibly large. So there's a limit to how many you can add. You can add 3 quarterbacks, 6 running backs, 8 wide receivers, 3 tight ends. If you're playing on FanDuel, the next position would be the kicker. You can have up to 6 kickers. If you're on DraftKings, that would be the flex position, so 6 flex players. And I realize that the flex player could be spread across, running back, wide receiver, tight end, and in this case, we have to designate specific players that would fall into that flex position, not necessarily moving them around to the possible lineup combinations, but it should get you to what you're really trying to build in those lineups anyway. And then 2 defenses. So those are the limits on each one. And if you use this little box down here on the left, you can see how many lineup combinations are possible if you fill all of those positions. So right now I have all of them filled except for defense. I only have 1 defense added, so I know that is going to generate 45,000 lineups. If I had 2 defenses put in, that would be a little over 90,000 lineups. And you can kind of use this box to play around and kind of see all of the different number of possibilities, number of combinations. So you can see why it's limited to a certain number of players at each position. If I happen to change quarterback to 10 instead of 3, you'll see this jumps to 300,000 possible lineups. It's an even bigger jump if you do something on running backs and wide receivers because there's 2 of them. So if I change this to 12 running backs, now you have over 1 million possible lineup combinations. So you can start to see where this gets to be pretty big. So this is kind of the limits that we've put in here, but it will generate all 90,000 lineup combinations once you kind of put those in here. So I've kind of selected some players in here that that I've kind of put in and used in my lineups. But you can make these changes. You can put any players that you want in here. If you don't want to put all of the players in the boxes, if there's only 1 tight end that you care about in all your lineups, you can only list 1 in there, or only 4 running backs, or however you want to use that. And once you have this all set the way that you want it, you can hit this generate lineups button, and it's going to work for a couple seconds, and it should be pretty quick. It's going to throw out all of the lineups that would not be valid with the players that you selected, so anything that would be over the cap. And then anything that still falls within the cap, it's going to rank them here. So you'll see all of the best possible lineups ranked by the number of projected points, and you can kind of scroll down and see. You'll notice that a lot of them have very similar players that are just 1 or 2 players different. And the projections are pretty close. But this gives you all of those lineup combinations, and hopefully you can see something that kind of strikes you. that maybe you hadn't thought of before. Or you can load all of these different lineup combinations to see what you could do in smaller contests that allow you to do multi-entry. So that's the lineup generator tool.